Oh, what's going on, Vikings fans? It is Skol side back again with another Minnesota Vikings video. And boys, it is week one of preview week. And guess what we got, man? We got the dirty Green Bay Packers. And in today's video, I'm going to go up with my concerns. Week one, get the negatives out of the way early on in the week. However, these negatives are actually kind of scaring me the more I was looking into it. Now, we do got the Packers. I'm excited. You know, we're not going to have fans in US Bank. It's not going to be the same. But guess what? It's still the border battle. Still Vikings versus Packers. Still Green Bay versus Minnesota, Wisconsin versus Minnesota, that whole rivalry. And this is a huge game for the NFC North. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Now let's get into my concerns for the Minnesota Vikings heading into week one. Let's get it. Guys, so we got Packer week, and a whole week it's going to be Packers. Doing some film breakdown, a whole bunch of things this week. We got full game previews and a podcast coming out later on this week. And then Sunday night, there's going to be a review of the game. Hopefully it's all positive. Winners, losers, who showed up, who didn't, that type of thing. Let's get into my concerns. And I think the biggest concern I have is the offensive line versus the Packers front seven. Now, as we saw in both games last year, the Vikings gave up 5 sacks in the Monday night game, week 16, pretty much for the division against Green Bay at home. Now, that was mainly because Elflein and Reef possibly had the worst game I've ever seen from a left side of offensive line since I've been a Vikings fan. I mean, there really hasn't been any. I mean, yeah, Zadarius Smith is a beast. Preston Smith, they're beast. Kenny Clark, I respect everything they do. But I feel like a lot of that was just because the Vikings did not show up to play. And especially their offensive line did not show up to play. Now, where's the improvement at? You know, I just made a video on saying how the Vikings offensive line is improving, and I'm really excited. However, we're back to where we were. I mean, the offensive line really hasn't came out, but it's most likely going to be Reef, Elflein, Bradbury, Samia, and then O'Neal. Bradbury and O'Neal, listen, they were really the only ones I felt like that had a spot back, and I felt like earned it, and maybe Klein, but we cut Klein for no reason. And do I feel confident of Elflein and Reef going against Kenny Clark and Zadarius Smith? Hell no. That's my biggest concern. It's just, listen, we can have all the weapons on offense. We can have Jefferson. We can have Thielen. We can have Cousins. We can have Cook, Madison, Irv, Rudolph, like all these, Tajay Sharp, KJ Osborne, all these dudes that look good in camp. We can have all that. It doesn't matter if the boys up front aren't getting the job done. I mean, we saw from that scrimmage on Friday, Elflein made Jaleel Johnson look like Aaron Donald. And Jaleel Johnson's not Aaron Donald. It just shows how bad Elflein still is. Now, there are reports him moving to the right side. We'll see if that does anything better. Maybe it's just a mental thing with him. But, I mean, the Vikings are taking a lot of risk, not making serious improvements. And I get their offseason was really hectic, but I still feel like the number one thing they should have covered was that offensive line. And now it's here. Now it's week one. And that's still something we're talking about. It's been something we've been talking about for 3 years. I don't want to get too down. It is week one, but that's my concern. That's where the Packers are going to win this game. I think if you look at every other matchup, Vikings have an edge. But if you look at just their front seven versus the Vikings offensive line, that's the biggest gap. Even the Packers offensive, I think the Vikings have a better front seven right now, but their Packers offensive line is better than the Vikings offensive line. They got Bakhtiari. They still got dudes there who always produce great O-line coaching. They're always having a good O-line. I'll give it to the Packers 110%. Like, no matter who they could have 5 undrafted rookies, and I would still probably say they're going to have a better offensive line than the Vikings just because their coaching and their scheme and the way they just – it's just a whole atmosphere and big offensive line, Wisconsin. And the Vikings, they should be the same, but they're not. Other concerns. I love my boy. I love our quarterback, Kirk Cousins. However, this is a big game. And I think Cousins, you know, it just comes down to good or bad Kirk. And it's something where if you have Mahomes, Watson, Wilson, Lamar, you know they're going to show up. Even Rodgers, like, you know, like, they're going to make a play or two where you're like, all right, I'm happy this is our quarterback. However, with Cousins is different. Is he going to be like the dude we saw in New Orleans, not turning the ball over, taking his shots when he gets them, letting the game come to him? Or is he going to be the dude we saw week 16 against Green Bay? Risky, loose with the ball, not stepping up in the pocket. And honestly, Cousins in the offensive line, if they have a day, if the offensive line gives him time, gets the running game going, the bootleg's there, the Vikings will win. It's simple. However, if we let Za'Darius Smith game wreck, because let's be honest, he can. Like, I know we love Daniil, I know we love our new guy, Unique Ngakoue, all that, but Za'Darius Smith, he's got that game record, kind of Khalil Mack type of mentality. And I think that will be a problem for the Vikings if we don't handle it. You know, maybe Kubiak's got a scheme going. He's got an offensive game plan. This will all just be noise. But even if we win and he has a game, the offensive line is something we need to talk about, because winning is the greatest makeup for your concerns. Because you don't really notice the offensive line in a win, even if they play bad. You only notice offensive line in losses. Because you'll get the second half against New Orleans, the offensive line kind of was rough. Didn't really create holes. Cousins was getting pressured a lot. He had to make some throws at the back foot, you know, getting hit. I mean, the offensive line struggled, but we won, so who cares? And then we saw it next week against San Fran. We're like, all right, our offensive line is terrible. So, I mean, we'll see. But my biggest concerns, honestly, I was going to throw the secondary in there, but I honestly think after camp and watching Dantzler and Gladney, I'm more confident with them than I am with the offensive line who's been together for 2 years. That's my biggest concern. And then Kirk, kind of. I think Kirk will show up. I think we'll have a good game. You know, no fans, 12 o'clock on a Sunday. I mean, Kirk lives for that. He's Peyton Manning at 12 o'clock on Sundays, especially at home. However, we just need good Kirk to show up, and we just need this offensive line to not let the Smith brothers absolutely wreck this game. I think it's going to be a close one, though. I got my prediction coming out later this week when we do the betting preview. We go over-unders on yards. The line, Vikings are at 3.5 right now, depending where you get it. Anyways, guys, those are my two main concerns for the Vikings against Packers. It's that front seven of Green Bay, which is nasty, versus the 5 offensive linemen the Vikings are going to roll out, and Kirk Cousins. I am really excited. I hope you guys are too. I'm going to try to get a hype video out this week. Should get you guys going. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Those are my concerns for the Vikings playing the Green Bay Packers. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys know what to do. Skol Vikes. It's Packer week, baby. Let's get after it.